Hey, before we get started, make damn sure it's your daily reminder. Make damn sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the OutKick YouTube channel, where you can see all the greats like myself, Hot Mike. You can see Tommy. You can see Clay. You can see Ricky. You can see all of the greats. You do not want to miss a second of it. Riley Gaines all over it as well. I want to welcome you to the big show. We have a monster for you. Scott Drew is going to break down. We're going to ask him about the Final Four teams. He knows them. He loves them. He knows the coaches. He's right there, the Baylor head coach and national champ. We're also going to see what it's like when you win a national championship. Is it, in fact, life-changing? Also, I saw Chip and Joanne yesterday as I was getting a pedicure. True story. I like their show. See what he thinks about Chip and Joanne. Yeah, you know who they are. Don't act like you don't. But first, Wilbon. ESPN is coming and has come under fire for the relentlessness with they pursue Bronny James, and I would also say the hate with which they show Caitlin Clark. But you play the hits when you're at ESPN, and if you don't play the hits, you don't last there very long. Bronny James, for some reason, somehow is the hits veteran journalist, and he is a journalist. Mike Wilbon isn't holding back. Quote, "Our business is a piece of shit in the wake of LeBron's feud with Stephen A. Smith." He's right. See, one of the few people, if not maybe one of the only people, that I would say journalist about is Mike Wilbon. I like Wilbon. I do. I like Wilbon a lot. I knew Wilbon very little. When there was an issue in Indiana way back and he had to do PTI, he referred to me and Isaiah Thomas as the Indiana guys that I listened to, and that's wise. I like wise people. Wilbon's not wrong. The industry is a piece of shit. Think about Stephen A. Smith has to comment on everything, and people actually listen. And then when confronted by somebody he's commented on, he backs down like a little guy at the playground. And I ain't mad at Stephen A. Smith for doing it. He'd have got his ass whooped. But what does he do? He goes out and about and tells everybody how he was going to throw hands. I was going to, yeah, my ass. I have a 17-year-old son, Wilbon said. So this matters to me. I'm particularly sensitive to it. I'll do anything for my kid, and I would hug LeBron for what he did for his kid. That's right. That's what I've said. I've said, look, the guy has equity in the sport. If this is what he wants to do, God bless him. Kid ever been in trouble? Kid ever been in a pain in the ass? Kid ever rebelled? Kid ever done anything but be seemingly a really good kid that tries really hard? Shut up. There were shows that talked about Bronny every day. You know what shows I'm talking about. I don't care if my bosses get mad. They would try to get Tony and me to talk about it. No, we're not going to do that. They talked about him more than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's pandering. It's all pandering. What have I told you? Play the hits, pandering. Let me be clear. Our business is a piece of shit a lot of days. He's right. That is pandering. Who's it pandering to? You, me. See, when you get a controversial story, and I know these guys, I know how they think. Hell, I think like them. You want to play the hits. You want to play it, and the numbers tell you probably should play it. People aren't really tuning in to hear about some guy having a big night in the NBA. They're tuning in to see what's the latest with Bronny. They're tuning in to see what's the latest with LeBron. They're tuning in to see what's the latest with the Cowboys. They just are. You can bitch, whine, and moan about Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers' talk moves the needle. Until it doesn't, which right now it's not, but it will as soon as he makes an announcement. You watch what happens when Aaron Rodgers makes an announcement. It'll be insane. You watch what happens if LeBron James' son, Bronny, makes a game-winning shot in the NBA. It'll be insane. Former NBA player and analyst Channing Frye also recently called out ESPN after Stephen A. Smith falsely claimed that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial. Please don't lie. Please don't make shit up. Fact check yourself. The beef is not fun when you've run out of things to talk about. Just don't lie to try to win an argument. Boy, is that true. See, this is what I've learned on Twitter. People will just lie, and once they start lying, I go, okay, I gave up dealing with an idiot for Lent. I mean, there's no reason to lie. He had no idea. He just thrown. See, this is also what happens, and you know this. This is what happens in coaching. Like, I don't like what Kevin Willard did, but I know what is going to happen after. Everybody's going to talk about him leaving Maryland and give the list of things that he's awful at. And the new guy's better. Oh, shut up, all of you. Just seriously, shut up, all of you. Good for Channing Frye. I mean, look, Wilbon, they're not going to do anything with Wilbon inside Indiana. It's interesting. See, this is why I like Wilbon. Wilbon isn't one of those guys that has to be racist, that has to stay on his, quote, side like others are doing at ESPN. The big fat-ass Perkins and all the little girls running around ESPN are staying on their side in this ongoing feud with Pat McAfee. It's ridiculous. It's idiotic. It's childish. All right. Bump-a-da-ba, bump-a-da-bump-a-da-ba. Here comes Skip Bayless to the rescue. Go get him, Skipper. Here's Skip Bayless.
How weak was that on LeBron's part to choose that time and that place to deliver that message? This was a flat-out ambush, a drive-by, a premeditated and calculated move by LeBron James to show up Stephen A. in front of the NBA world while giving Stephen A. no face-to-face time to respond. LeBron didn't want any rebuttal. This was just a delusionally, irrationally, insanely proud pop telling off Stephen A. Smith, knowing this debate was rigged. Frankly, that was pretty cowardly. So Stephen A. responded to LeBron the only way he could on all of his platforms, along with those of some others. Then LeBron bleeping James got really, really petty. He chose to go on another ESPN show, Pat McAfee's. LeBron said on that show, "It's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players." What? Is your son an NBA player or is he not? Are you saying this is just your son who gets to wear a Laker uniform and just sit down on the end of the bench because he's your son? Is this like every night's Halloween, he gets to dress up and play NBA player? Is that what you're saying? I don't think so. Look, if you truly believe that Bronny's an NBA player worthy of wearing that uniform on a nightly basis, then he's obviously fair game for anyone in the media to critique.
He's right. No, he's right. But let me put it to you this way, jackasses, and that's exactly what Skip Bayless and all these fucking frauds are. Let me explain something to you. Yeah, you can critique him. He's wearing a Laker uniform. Nobody says you can't. But why is it so cowardly when the guy shoots back? Why is it so cowardly when the guy confronts one of you pricks? I'm serious about why is that so cowardly? So I'm going to make a video of this later. So LeBron James gets himself, whatever the reason, his son on his team. His son's wearing the uniform. And Skip Bayless says, yeah, then you should criticize him. Okay, fine. You're doing it. You're doing it. That's what you're doing. You're criticizing his son. Fine. You're criticizing an NBA player. You're criticizing a Laker. Fine. That's what you're doing. So why is it so cowardly to confront the person that's criticizing your son, your Laker, your teammate? Why is it so cowardly to confront him when you see him? What are you supposed to do? So this jackass is criticizing his son, his teammate. What are you supposed to do? I'm going to fly out to meet Stephen A. Smith? I'm not wasting time and money on that. Hey, I see him, I confront him. That is the opposite of cowardly. Cowardly is sitting there like Skip Bayless has done, like Shannon, whatever that idiot's name is, Sharp has done, and what Smith does. Cowardly is sitting there behind a mic, behind a television, criticizing somebody over and over again. And then when you meet him, you back down like a little guy at the playground. That's cowardly. That's the very definition of cowardly, you idiots. You sit your fat ass down for years and years and years. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith never did shit as an athlete. Have no idea how athletes think. Have no idea how athletes function. You've never been an athlete. You've never been a coach. Piece of shit, both of you players. Never played nothing. Hell, the one guy couldn't play in grade school, and the other guy makes up shit. All you got to do is pay attention to Jason Whitlock and what he's saying about the actual career of this idiot, Stephen A. Smith. Yet they sit there every single day. Every day. Every day. And bitch, whine, and moan about people actually doing it. And when somebody legitimately confronts you face to face, like a man, Old West style, you crumble like the little bitch that you are, And then you complain later like a little kid said, well, I woulda, I coulda, I woulda, I shoulda, I did, I woulda. Yeah? All right, man. You didn't. You coward. Like the coward that you are. And now everybody's talking. See, Skip Bayless out of a job. Skip Bayless wants back in. Skip Bayless is pandering. Don't even try it. Don't even try that shit. Try it with other people. Try it with your constituents that are at ESPN that are against Pat McAfee. Try it with your little group, Shay, Uchi, whatever the hell her name is, all the little girls. Try it with them. Not with real people. Not with people that have been in the arena. Not with people that know. Fraudulent mother blankers. That's all they are. And Wilbon knows. We all know. And Skip Bayless coming to your defense is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Cowards, all of them. Too cowardly when they were kids to work hard enough to be an athlete, bitter about not being an athlete, want to be in the game, criticize athletes, and then get when confronted, they fold. Roger Goodell recently indicated that the league would eventually play as many as 16 games overseas in a single season, and Pat McAfee is backing the global push towards playing games in the United Arab Emirates, calling the idea a step in the right direction for bringing the world together with football. Here's Pat Mac.
It's like, can we do business over there? And if we can, how often? And is that a real thing? And it's like, yes, okay. I would like to be on the side of, I think it's good to help countries and everything evolve. I think it's a good thing. Like getting a chance to watch from afar, I've never been over there, what the WWE has done alongside Saudi Arabia and the Crown Prince, God bless him, and everything they have going on over there for their citizens, for their entertainment, for day to day, for what life is like from what it was just 10, 15 years ago to what it is now. Like, I think that's good for their society, good for the world. Now, granted, there's a lot of detractors to all of that. You're doing business with people that have blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if we start digging into all those things, especially in all these different countries, like I think you're going to be able to find everywhere there's been mistakes, obviously bigger than in some places than others, I get it. But watching their society evolve with the WWE and with sport and with entertainment and us taking the game, like I like the thought of bringing the world together and closer via sport. I enjoy the fact that golf was being utilized as something for Saudi Arabia folks to get interested in more American sports. Like, I like the thought of sport bringing the world together because ultimately that's what I think sports are about. And if the NFL is able to take their game over there and receive a huge payment, a fucking huge payment, I think it's good for the world as a whole. But yes, that number and the amount of apostrophes that'll be on that one, I assume, only goes up, which is.
Yeah, I'm kind of with them. I'm not going to lie. I've had enough of bitching, whining, and moaning about not doing business with every country that we don't like. And I get it. Obviously, there's massive problems with what's going on, but there's in the United Arab Emirates. We all get it. I mean, we all understand. Liv kind of brought it to the forefront. But I got to tell you, the way we're working right now, it seems like it's headed towards World War III. That's why I look at it. You can say I'm wrong. That's fine. 350 million people in this country. Everybody's got their own opinion. But I see this. Look, we seem to be angry with everybody. It seems to be like you can't talk to your enemy. People that do things in a atrocious way, as they do there in some instances, shouldn't preclude, in my opinion and Pat's opinion, a lot of people's opinion, at least trying to get this world together. How do you try to get a world together if you're not talking to anybody and you're always condemning others? I don't like what they do. I hate what they do, actually. I hate what China does. I hate what Russia does. I hate what we do. I mean, if you go back, how does somebody, I don't want to say who, and I don't want to get anybody crazy with me, but how does somebody that has been in the office of our highest powers have 56 people that committed suicide? That's insane to me. Nobody has 56 people that allegedly that are friends of theirs that committed suicide. We got atrocities here too. We do. We have atrocities. I mean, we have atrocities with what we do with our people. We have atrocities with how we handle our people, how we protect our people, atrocities. So before everybody gets all holier than thou, how do you solve problems? How do you bring the world together if you don't try? And maybe Pat's right. Maybe sport is the thing. The marketing push, countries in play, Canada, United Kingdom, Brazil, Ireland, Germany, Switzerland, Spain, Australia, Greenland, New Zealand, Greece, the UAE, and Brazil. Teams involved, Cardinals, Ravens, Lions, Packers, Colts. Colts are all in on everything. Chiefs, Raiders, Commanders, 49ers, Seahawks, Eagles, Chargers. Personally, if it were me, I wouldn't want to play in any of them. Hell no. I would want to play in the United States. I don't want to all of a sudden have a home game taken away from me and I got to fly halfway across the country to go play where now? In front of who now? For what now? I wouldn't want to. No, I really wouldn't. There's nothing about playing in Germany or England that would interest me. And I might be hypocritical on this. You know, I went to the game there in England when the Colts played the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I actually loved it. I'd go back to watch. But if you're telling me I got 18 games, 17 games, whatever they're going to end up over the next couple of years in the NFL, then I got to take away one night, 2 nights, whatever it is at home to play a home game in front of our fans, and I got to go over here? What? And then I got to get back, and then I get my body adjusted. I wouldn't want to do it. I understand it's for the greater good. It's for the league. I get that. We all do. But I wouldn't want to do it. But look, if we're going to do it, do it. If you think you can help bring the world together, good. Maybe instead of ignoring or condemning those that say, hey, you should talk to the United Arab Emirates, or you should talk to Putin, or you should talk to China. Maybe instead of ignoring, putting your hand in the sand and say, I don't want to get canceled because, you know, I've talked to Putin or I've talked what? Maybe we should all talk. Maybe we should all bring together the world through sport. Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying it works, but what the hell's going on right now ain't working. It doesn't seem like people being mad at Phil Mickelson for the statements he made in some book by some sleazeball. It doesn't seem like that's changed what's going on in the United Arab Emirates. I'm sure they're still, well, I know they are doing their same stuff, the same tortures, the same things against women, the whole deal. It didn't really work just to cancel Phil Mickelson for saying something, did it? And I don't think they've gotten any poorer over there. Only thing that's happened is here we show our indignation. That's all we do. We just get pissed at the person that says something. But Phil Mickelson says has no effect on anything, but boy, we got mad. And he had to be suffering for it. He must suffer for it. Oh, shut up, all of you. Seriously, shut up, all of you. Ignoring somebody doesn't work. How about you do try to work together? I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong, but I know the direction we're headed right now, if you believe what you read, ain't good in geopolitical politics. Try something else. Shut the fuck up, all you people that bitch about everything. Anyway, friend of the show, Kirk Herbstreit, continues to blast his haters who accused him. Now Herbie's an SEC homer. Ripping the idiots who are constantly complaining about his broadcast remarks before adding ESPN's never asked me to manufacture a tape. But that he will always give his opinion whether you like it or not. So hold on here. Herbstreit, who absolutely couldn't give a shit who wins anything, is now accused of being a homer for the SEC. He's always been accused of being a homer for the Big Ten, particularly Ohio State. Now he's a homer for the SEC. Let me explain something to you. When I was doing basketball at ESPN, Tirico and I were never asked to share an opinion. Now, they got mad at my opinion a few times when I said, look, of course a referee's going to make a call for the Big Ten. He gets paid more to referee the Big Ten than he did the MAC. Of course he's going to make a call. They got mad at that. But never an opinion on something. So it just fascinates me that Herbie is now a shill for the SEC. By the way, with all due respect to you people, other than, I know, and this is a big other than, right? This is like, hey, other than that, how was the movie, Mrs. Lincoln? But other than the championship, the SEC, when you go from start to finish, pretty popular league, pretty hard to hate, pretty good football, probably the best football. But, hey, look, Ohio State and Michigan won, so I get it. Other than that, when you're good, let me put it to you this way. When you're good, really good, people are going to speak highly of you. When you suck, people are going to say you suck. People that have integrity like Herbie. And when you're okay, they're going to say you're okay. So now Herbstreit is a shill for the SEC. You guys are idiots. Let's hear from Herbie.
I'm a pleaser by nature. I try to be a voice of reason. I try to be fair. I'm not in this era of television, there's a lot of, you see it in politics, when you're watching TV, you see it in sports, there's a lot of shock jock. There's a lot of, what can I say to try to, to be trending, to be on social media. What outlandish thing can I say that might get out there? I've never done that. I never will. ESPN's never asked me to have a side. You need to say this for our sake. Never had that one time in 29 years. So I just really do a lot of work. I talk to a lot of people. I prepare. I've never ever tried to talk down to viewers. I try to, the way the four of us are talking right now, this is how I try to talk when I'm on College Game Day. It's really the only way I know how to talk. So I prepare, and then I give you an opinion. And I'm not standing on top of a mountain with lightning bolts saying this is the way it is. I'm not. I'm just saying I've talked with a lot of people. I watch almost every game every Saturday for 29 years. I feel like I'm in a position to have opinions. And so I give you opinions. And I feel like you don't have to agree with them, but they're fairly educated opinions. But they're mine. And if we want to disagree, let's disagree. I have no problem with that. But I can assure you that my opinions aren't just flying by the seat of my pants, or what can I say to upset a certain fan base? Like, I've never done that, ever. And, we get accused at ESPN that we love the SEC. Like, I love every team. I love every conference. I went to a Big Ten school. I was a captain at Ohio State. My dad was a captain. I love Ohio State. But I'm not on there pushing Ohio State's agenda or the Big Ten's agenda. You would think I would be accused of being a Big Ten homer. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some SEC people, maybe they think that. But I just watch every game.
I'm texting Will Kane telling you it's impossible to have not to have me on his show. Yeah. Look, I saw this tweet, and I just texted Herbie during the tweet, and I texted him a couple nights ago, and I said, wait a second. Hold on. Hold on. You're a Big Ten homer now. That's what you are? You're a Big Ten homer. Okay, I get that. But we've moved it to the SEC now? That's what we're doing? Is there still a Pac-12? Hey, anybody out there, is there a Pac-12? Make the man a Pac-12 homer, for Christ's sake. God, it's amazing. It really is astounding. If you're going to continue to do such stupid stuff, the world of Twitter, please do. And I don't mind anybody coming at me, but come at me with, or him, or anybody with some smart stuff. Now he's SEC. SEC's good. Does that make me a homer? SEC's great. What are you talking about? Hey, get your popcorn, get your beer, get your soda, get your whatever, and get ready for an SEC game on a Saturday night. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Former University of Pennsylvania transgender swimmer Leah Thomas recently spoke out in support of trans athletes. Most Americans have become opposed to trans athletes. Most Americans have been to trans athletes in women's sports, vowing to continue the fight for trans athletes in light of President Trump's executive order to keep biological males out of women's sports. I'm going to keep fighting as much as I'm able to. That's what Thomas said over Zoom to HITOP's Trans Youth Forum over the weekend. In order to fight the battle we need to fight, we have to stick together and support each other. He's right. You do. I don't mind people fighting. Hey, look, I got no problem with Leah Thomas and others sticking up for themselves. I never have a problem with that. Never. Ever. My problem comes, play them against men. No biggie. Why you got to play against women? You're a man. Play against the men. That's simple. That's my problem. But I'm boring with this. See, I like when people stand up for themselves. I like that. I like when people respond. I like that. But one thing I can't have is people that, well, get an unfair advantage participating against women who have fought for years and years and years to participate in sports. And my wife is right upstairs. And I would not be this bold about my thoughts if it weren't for her and her daughter. You know, the WNBA, Trans Day of Visibility, yeah. Me, Gary, Aaron, Dylan, and the two Knicks, that's 6 of us. We're going to get dressed up. We feel like gals today. We're going to get dressed up and go try out for a WNBA team. I guarantee we all make it. I don't even know if Dylan can dribble a basketball. And Nick looks like a freaking stud baseball player, but being a baseball player, he's probably 5'2". Gary will go downtown. He'll shoot from deep. Aaron will have enthusiasm. I guarantee you that. He'll get in the stands. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you people? It has to be athletes deciding for herself where they feel most affirmed and most comfortable, having routes that are safe and non-discriminatory that allow them access to it. So let me ask you a question, Leah Thomas. If you're coming and you're so sensitive and you're talking about being safe, why don't your actions solidify your words? I mean, you knew that the women at the NCAA tournament didn't feel safe with you and your schlong dangling in the locker room, yet that's what you did. Why? Why don't we consider everybody's safety? Yeah. Nobody is trying to, as Congress idiots say, extinguish trans people. No one's trying to do that. But if you are worried about safe spaces, why were you not worried when you were dangling it in front of Riley Gaines and all the competitors in the NCAA championships, to the point where Riley and others went to NCAA officials and simply asked, can we get this dude out of our locker room? If you're so worried about a safe space, you know, empathetic people worry about others. It seems to me that this guy, Leah Thomas, is worried about only himself, yet espouses to be worried about others. Safe space. It has to be the athletes deciding for themselves where they feel most affirmed and most comfortable. Didn't seem like Riley Gaines and them felt comfortable having routes that are safe and non-discriminatory. I get it, the routes is different from the locker room, but why can't women get the same thing? Why can't women who have fought so hard to be athletes, so hard to get scholarships, so hard to get opportunities, why can't they be the same thing? I don't get it. I don't get it. Leah Thomas, so just so you idiots out there, I'm saying idiots a lot. Don't do that, Dan. Just so you folks out there understand the difference. Here is Leah Thomas. Number 462 is a dude, if we're keeping score. 462 is a dude. And a lot of us are keeping score. Speaking of that, day of transitioning, Trans Day of Visibility, Clay Travis says we need a man playing in a WNBA. Not kidding. Organizations like this need to bear the consequences of their absurd positions. I get it. The LGBT, A, B, C, D, E, F, G community is all encompassing. Man, I would love to see some guy that's going to get cut in the NBA go, you know what? I can't make $80,000 doing anything else. I don't want to go to Prague to play basketball. I don't want to. I want to play here in the United States. Where can I play? Oops. I'm going to put on a dress and go play in the WNBA. I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. I'll go out to the game and root like hell. I root like crazy. America's most overrated football coach, not named Frank Reich, who, by the way, got a job yesterday with Stanford and Andrew Luck. Shane Steichen of the Colts spoke with the media about his new quarterback, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes Jones. And didn't necessarily sell the fan base on the talent with the comments he made. Here it is. Danny Dimes, if you look at this skill set, absolutely, he can run the football with a zone read game. Obviously, he can throw the football as well. Completion percentage, 64%, which is pretty good. He has some good playoffs games. He had some good production, won a playoff game. There you go. High football IQ, which is really good. So it'll be exciting. And it'll be good competition between him and Anthony moving forward. All right. The two worst passers in the NFL over the last 2 years are going to participate and compete for the starting job of the Indianapolis Colts, who, by the way, has the most overrated coach and the worst general manager in football. There you go. Should be fun around these parts. Obviously, he had that really good year in 22. Whatever reason, the last 2 years didn't go as planned. How he would like. But obviously, a fresh start for him coming into our building. So we're excited to have him. I hope so. I mean, Shane Steichen is awful. When the Colts needed him most, Shane Steichen called the play where it was a flea flicker, where the dumbest player on the Colts football team, the worst decision maker, the biggest coward, actually, if football players can be coward, D.A. Mitchell or A.D. Mitchell, whatever the hell his name is, was supposed to throw a flea flicker. He threw it to the other team. The other team went down the field, scored a touchdown, and A.D. Mitchell after the game said, I did my job. Oh, all right. Presumably the Colts want Richardson to react well to competition, win the job, and show some more of the promise. He briefly flashed his rookie season. It just seems odd to be pushing Jones as a viable competitor for the starting spot and cutting Richardson's reps to prove that point. Richardson was always going to be a long-term project. Colts seem to have lost the patience that was going to be required when they drafted him. Well, they should have. You're trying to win now. Look, you got to understand something. The general manager, Chris Ballard, is in his 9th year of never winning a division, never hosting a home playoff game, winning one playoff game total, and drafting this kid fourth. So I ask you, who are you going to get? Like, patience, Yahoo Sports, patience my ass. Patience is for doctors and guys with long-term contracts. Shane Steichen was alleged to be out as coach of the Colts, along with Chris Ballard, no matter what that lying fraud Mina Kimes says, no matter what the national media tells you. Hell, even here, I must have missed it when he said it. Even here, Todd McShay said, I believe in Chris Ballard. Don't say that. If you believe that your record is what you say you are, then it's amazing Chris Ballard has had a job the last 5 years. It's going to be fun, though, watching guys clank balls off the frickin' goalposts, watching guys throw footballs into the stands. It's the two least accurate players in the NFL. But, oh, by the way, hang on, caller. Anthony Richardson is actually working hard this offseason. That'll be story number 1 in Indy. All right. Did this dude not just see what happened to Rachel Ziegler's Snow White remake? Star Wars actor John Boyega took aim at the iconic Star Wars series, labeling the franchise as so white and as an elite space reserved for white people. Just shut up, you idiot. You got a second-grade education. Somebody's probably been feeling you up since you were like 5, and your political thoughts, shut up, sell a movie. Look, selling Snow White is automatic. You can put me as Snow White as long as I don't say anything political, and Snow White would sell. Let me tell you. This is John Boyega. Snow White always had the vibe of being the most whitest elite space. It's a franchise that's so white that a black person existing in it was something. Okay, you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, we had Orlando Bloom, Samuel L. Jackson. You can't even give evidence that it's not so white without an answer. Here it is. That's like telling me how many cookie chips are in a cookie dough. It's like they just scattered that in there, bro. They're okay with us playing the best friend. But once we touch their heroes, once we land, once we trailblaze, like, oh, my God, it's just a bit much. They're pandering. Oh, shut up. Nobody's saying anything. Do a good job and people go to the movies. Shut up. But before Disney wastes any resources addressing Boyega's grievances, we suggest the studio first focus on holding the people responsible for the new Snow White. Holding the people responsible for the new Snow White accountable for their actions. As a publication, Snow White is on pace, listen for it, to lose $115 million and to be one of the biggest box office bombs in studio history. I got to tell you, I don't know how you come back from that in this climate. I don't. All you got to do as a star is collect money, shut your mouth, let the film go, and then talk like an idiot. That Ziegler lady got it backwards. She did the movie, and then she talked, and then the movie came out, and everybody said, you're an unlikable woke jackass. You can't F up Snow White. And frankly, the girl that's playing Snow White, when she opens her mouth, ruins everything because she's an attractive girl with the big eyes, and I think people would be drawn to her. The casting was probably really good. But then she opened her mouth. I tell you all the time, it's like the girl that lived in C-33 across. Hot, hot, hot. Then I started dating her. She opened her mouth. And I'm like, probably has happened to me. Somebody saw me, hot man, look at me. And then I open my mouth and they're probably like, no, 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 no.